Today's shop project, very simple. We waited very patiently for an appropriate day to spray the clear coating. A few days ago we did the decaling, did all the paint work, all the striping. We got our clear ready. This is a new brand of clear we have never used before. Luciano supplied it. But the biggest thing today was to wait for a day with very little or no chance of rain, because we have been in a cycle of where almost every day, in fact, if you look closely, you can see the ground is still wet here from the night before. But the way this day played out, I got the tank in clear, the basic base coats of clear, and I planned out the day in such a way that I babysat the clear until I knew it was dry to the touch. And at the end of the day, I actually had enough time left over to go for a short ride, and with some unpredictable weather in that ride. What started out to look like it was going to be a nice riding day turned into a little bit of a hurricane and a sailboating day, but we did manage to ride. And any day it's in the 40s, I want to get out on the open road. As today's the day we waited for patiently. It looks like it's going to be very soon up in the 40s, and the sun is out. And it rained yesterday, so it means there'll be very little dust in the air. Well, this is really a big help, because I've been waiting patiently to get the clear on Luciano's H1, and I think today we're going to be able to get the clear put on and then see how much of the day is left over, possibly get a ride, possibly do something exciting like clean the refrigerator. I don't know yet, but I want to get this clear on today, because we went through a terrible rainstorm yesterday. The rain was everywhere. There's no way to possibly paint, and I never want to risk a day that they're predicting rain, because in the middle of it, so today's the day. And if there's one part of any paint job that's worth waiting for perfect weather, or as good a weather as you can have, it's the clear. Because if this clear gets all full of dust, we compromise the job. Or if it's going to be a good chance of rain and right in the middle of painting it, rain dry, so it really did pay to wait. And I'm glad we did. It looks like today's going to be special. I want to get in and have my coffee as soon as possible. And it's a new clear. We haven't used this clear yet. This is the one Luciano supplied from his friend. And I'm always willing to learn. We'll see how this clear lays out. And we've been working on all the motorcycles over the winter. And on a day like today, there is a chance we'll get a ride. Not a big chance, because I never want to rush the clear. The clear, I've got to hopefully get 2 coats, maybe 3, 20 minutes apart, and hopefully get them into a nice cool garage where it's not below freezing. Let them sit there overnight, and tomorrow we could hopefully have an idea of if we're going to wet sand this with some 2000 grit, put the last coat on. I don't know until I actually get the first 2 or 3 coats on, which I want to do today. Yesterday I posted up a really nostalgic video of me riding Luciano's H1, and right after it was freshly restored, and boy did that bring back some good memories of why we love these older bikes. Boy, these bikes, when you fall in love with them, it's hard to explain. And the work we did on the RD was very successful. Actually, we're looking forward to another 2-stroke day once we get the H1 in its blue bodywork. Anyway, time for coffee. That's the right way to get any day off to a good start. It's actually the first time we've seen the sun in a few days. Everything's still soaking wet, but it's supposed to be a real nice day for painting. So while I'm out painting, guess what the bride is doing? I love raw string beans. Delicious. I don't fight birds. There's seeds for everybody. String beans and seeds for everybody. Okay, you know why I'm so healthy. Look at all these vegetables I'm eating. Wow. I'm going to turn into a vegetable. Okay, how long does that roast for?
About 20 minutes.
Does that guarantee that I'll be healthy for another year?
Absolutely.
Or more. Okay, so the decals have dried overnight. Actually, have dried 2 days. And we are ready to spray clear. And as I'm looking at this, I am so glad I did that sand out and got rid of all those little nubs that were on here, because now the clear should lay down beautifully today. Let's hope. In one of our next projects, I'm going to do a total restoration on this kickstand for the RG. I really want to make that, have a beautiful finish on it. It's a small detail, but every part of my restorations is a small detail. That's one of our future projects coming up. And now we are, for all purposes, out of the clear we normally use the Gavco, but Luciano supplied this, and he said he's having good luck with it. Well, we're going to give it a test today. No reason not to use it. And I think mostly all of these clears are very, very similar. And maybe some are a little better, but for our purposes, we're gonna see how this plays out today. Imperial high gloss, fast. Always, if you have a choice with activator, always get the fast activator. Always to your advantage, not to have it tacky any longer than necessary. Final thing, tack reg everything down, avoid the decals, don't want to go over the decals. Now, Luciano was very emphatic to put plenty on the bottom of the tank. I understand why these tanks always rust out at the bottom, not at the top. And because he did all the prep, well, it's on him if this rusts. Anyway, we did get the bottom, plenty of clear on the bottom. And it gets difficult to handle this tank. There really is no convenient way to handle it. But I wanted to show the technique I use. Top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, and then immediately go front to back, front to back. That seems to put down a nice coat. Now this material, to be honest, it laid down real nice, but it was a little bit thicker than the Gavco, viscosity-wise, so I had to adjust the pressure up. And because it was a nice, bright, sunny day here, it worked to our advantage. You can really see anywhere that you've got a spot that's thin or anything where it's got a little bit too much material or not enough material. So it was real nice, and we worked this part of it, getting the top done, and this was really, you've got to go back and forth over and over. This is just to get the first coat on. I wanted to get that first coat and get it nice and tacky and sticky before I put the second coat on. And the way the temperature played out, it was almost in the 40s, but that first coat just tacked right up just exactly the way I wanted. It really couldn't have been a lot better. I shot a couple of pictures so I could send them to Luciano, let him eat his heart out. Now it doesn't look like we have any fish eyes at all in this, which is really nice. It's a nice little helpful thing. We're going to wait 20 minutes, get the next coat on there. We're already coming up into the 40s, so this should dry up really nice. Should get a nice gloss on that when we're done, but I'm hoping, well, we always hope the weather holds out, but here's the problem with the weather this time of year. They tell you one thing, and all of a sudden you're looking at black clouds forming above you. So I don't know. But we did wait patiently, and it looks like it's paid off. Now the second coat went on. This is about a half hour later, and already a couple of things were happening that I didn't like. First off, you can see the wind is really kicking up here, and so I'm glad I got a nice early start on this. The wind is not in your favor when it's blowing like this. It just makes it really difficult to get a nice even coat on, and something because I'm used to working under battle conditions. I've never had a spray booth, never worked with a spray booth, so I've kind of gotten used to doing things the way I do, and the results, I don't know if you're impressed with the results, but I like doing it this way. Well, it looks like all our patience is paying off here. The paint's laying down real nice. Oh, that's going to be beautiful. That is going to be a beautiful job. Decals look perfect. The striping edge came out perfect. And by waiting for the clear,
we're going to have a really nice job here. I'm really happy with the way that worked out.
Now, I'm really sorry about the wind noise when I was recording this outdoors, the wind. As this day played out, and you'll see by the end of the day, it turned into a hurricane at the end of the day. It turned out to where, I don't know where that wind came from, but it was not in the forecast. We had free wind all day.
Now I'm checking, we got plenty on the bottom edge, plenty around the gas cap. And the next step on that is that's going to sit in the garage overnight.
Now see, it really did pay to wait for a good day like this. Wow. We are paying dividends right now.
I just thought before I put this in the garage, I'd let the sun bake it. The sun has really come out, even though we have some clouds in the sky, the sun is very bright. That'll help get that to tack up. And once it tacks up, it won't matter if dust gets on it.
Now, I'm not sure that paint could ever lay down any better than that. That looks really nice. And that clear Luciano supplied. Looks like it's going to work great. That's going to sit in the garage overnight. We'll probably, we'll probably get a ride this afternoon if this dries up well. I want to sit and babysit this for about another hour. I'll go have some coffee and stuff. And hopefully, if it tacks up nice and I'm happy with it, I'll get a short ride this afternoon. Now, when it's sitting in the garage with the door shut, to me, that minimizes the chance dust will get in it. This time of year, there's no bugs. But if there was one bug in all of New Jersey, it would land on the top of the tank right now. I've had that happen before. So babysitting it with the garage door shut. Pre-flighting the bike and checking the air, mostly. I'm just thinking how it's not that often we get to do a really nice job on the clear, and that's sitting up on a bench just drying up beautifully. And we'll get a short ride this afternoon. It looks like we're going to be in the 40s. And I always think anytime I'm in the 40s I want to ride. But how much better is it that I can get something done, some shop work, and get a ride all in the same day? It's like 2 for the price of 3. Now, I was going to do some test riding on the two bikes that need a test ride, but it's too nice of a day to just go test riding. So, and this bike has, basically, it's got one ride left, 100 mile ride. It's got less than 100, a little bit less than 100 miles, and we're ready for the next service. And luckily, if a couple rainy days come up next week, we'll get this serviced, and then we'll be ready for another 4,000 miles of fun riding. Cold weather, having a nice windshield.
And one of the good lessons I've learned over the years is never go for a ride on a bike without checking the air and the tires. Even though you think, even on the MT-09, you think, well, it's brand new air. Yeah. And every once in a while, I go to check the tires, and they're 2 pounds low in the cold weather. So I don't know. I think it's good, and even better, while we're out riding, that clear is going to be drying up like jewelry. Luciano, I think you're going to be very happy. This is why I keep all the bikes on battery tenders and try to ride them each and start them out in the backyard and try to keep them always ready to go on a moment's notice. And today's the moment's notice. I had no idea we'd get done and I'd still have time for a ride, but I'm glad the bikes give me plenty of choices. You know, it's really funny how quick weather changes this time of year. I've had a cup of coffee. I thought I'd be ready to go, and boy, I take a look at the black clouds, and we may make this even shorter than I thought we would. I don't know. You never know this time of year. Everything is an adventure, but it would be nice even to just get out for an hour or so. ready to go at last. Still a lot of snow, and boy is that wind blowing today. Holy mackerel.
And boy, I found out right away just how slippery the roads were. Had a couple little step outs in that icy water. Always good to work on your wet road riding skills. Boy, and those clouds got black, and then they got a little worse. Always have to keep the pace down under these kind of conditions. And you can see there's just wet spots everywhere. And the problem is up in this area, it's usually a lot cooler than it is in Rutherford. Yeah, it's kind of like riding a dirt bike at times. That back end keeps shaking its tail. But that cloud cover was variable for the whole ride. And you can see how wet it was in, well, pretty much most of the spots. And the Michelin 2s really do seem to handle these kind of conditions pretty well. But there's just no substitute for really being careful. That's for sure. But even out on the open road like this, just a great feeling on a day like today. But I was really hoping it wouldn't get any colder. But you can see that cloud cover sneaking up on us in some directions. But this bike really is a good all-weather fighter. And the clouds, I just keep looking at the clouds. Plenty of water on the roads, and you see those dark spots? They are slippery. And those clouds were making me think, maybe we should cut this ride a little short. And then the sky had been blue. Blue skies, clouds, blue skies, clouds. Come on. And just, there's still snow in places. It's amazing. And just when you thought you'd seen it all, there's another pile of snow on the side of the road. I'm not sure about this weather today. I don't know. Look at that black cloud. Yeah, just thinking about that. It was a lot colder up north than it was where we were, right here in Rutherford. Good to be home. Get that bike put away.
So when I get back from a ride, and the video is over here, I'm over. Oh, and by the way, I keep that in the house in the cold weather. That whole thing with all the batteries in it, especially the jumper battery. Good tip. And we're gonna have a good cup of coffee right now. So this really was a pretty cool day. Getting that tank painted, and by the way, it's drying up. I don't want to touch it, of course. That is just drying up like liquid gold, liquid Kawasaki. Anyway, the wind was howling. I don't know how much of it you can see. The wind was just blowing you down a road like a sailboat. But anyway, but I always say, a ride this time of year, if you can get it into the 40s, take it. At least I do anyway. I want to thank the healthcare workers. Thank you guys again so much. My family has been, hopefully we're all going to get through this, and your family too. But it's so important. And Karen and I have tried to stay as isolated as we can. I've been riding alone. I've been doing everything I possibly can. Hopefully this is going to be over soon. Let's hope. But anyway, we're coming up. I probably have one more ride on this. I really didn't get a full 100 miles today, but maybe we'll see how the weather plays out. He's ready for his maintenance, and I always, if I'm wrong about the maintenance, I'll always do it 100 miles or so early. I look around and I feel took good advantage of a very nice day in the middle of a very cold winter. So hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoy editing, and thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching.
Now, we do try to post up something new, something relating to motorcycles every day. There are days we like to just work on bikes. There's days we like to ride, and today was that very unusual day. We got to do something productive for Luciano, and we got a wet, sloppy ride, but a wet, sloppy ride is still better than being locked up on Rikers Island, that's for sure. Anyway, hope you did enjoy the video. We certainly do enjoy editing them, making them, and sharing them. And I hope you're enjoying what's left of this winter. Boy, I just hope it doesn't snow anymore. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching.